Okay, guys, we are going to continue talking about subtracting fractions today. So we're going to focus on our horizontal method today. I know we did the vertical method the other day. And again, if you're more comfortable with the vertical method, that's completely fine. I want you to try a couple with the horizontal method just to kind of get used to it. But if you prefer the vertical method, honestly, I do. Feel free to continue doing that. That's perfectly fine. And if you need to do that on a separate piece of paper and submit it through Classroom by taking a picture, that's wonderful. That sounds like a great plan. Okay, let's do a couple of problems. So if you remember, we need to make a common denominator and then make equivalent fractions. And then in this time we're going to subtract, and then we're going to reduce if we can. So let's do 5/6 minus 8/24. Okay, so when we do our horizontal method, we're going to have our two fractions over here. And yes, I want you to write your two fractions. Don't just do this in your head. I want to see your work. So we're going to look at 6 and 24. So with 6 and 24, what would be our common denominator? You could do 24. 6 times 4 is 24. And 24 times 1 would be 24. So that would work. I'm going to make 24 my common denominator. So we're going to look at these two fractions. 6 times what would be 24? 6 times 4, which means we're going to multiply this number times 4 and this number times 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. 24 times 1 would be 24. So 8 times 1 would be 8. Now, this is where our subtraction part comes in. So our denominator, if you remember, stays the same because we're still dealing with parts that are 24ths. So 20 minus 8 would be 12. Is that in lowest terms? No, they're both even. So we can divide that by 2. But I also know that 12 goes into 24. So if I divide both top and bottom by 24, I'm going to get 1/2. So my answer to this problem is going to be 1/2. And please remember to circle your answer at the end. All right, let's try another one. How about 3/4 minus 7/10? Okay, so again, we're going to set our fractions up, and then we're going to make our common denominator. So I have 4 and 10. So if I think about my factors of 4, sorry, not my factors, my multiples. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Now, if I think about my multiples of 10, 10 and 20. So I'm going to use 20 as my common denominator. 4 times 5 is 20. Whoops, let me use my pink like I was before. 4 times 5 is 20. So 3 times 5 would be 15. 10 times 2 is 20. 7 times 2 would be 14. So now we're going to subtract. 15 minus 14 is 1, and my denominator stays the same. So I get 20. So 1/20, and that is in lowest terms. So we circle our answer. Okay, let's do a couple more. So let's try 2/5 minus 6/20. So again, I'm going to set up my fractions. And my common denominator, I know that 5 times 4 is 20, and 20 times itself is going to be 20. So I'm going to have 20 as my denominator. So 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8. And then 20 times 1 is 20. So 6 times 1 is 6. Now, when I subtract this, 8 minus 6 is 2, and the 20 remains the same. Now, this is not in lowest terms because they're both even. So let's divide top and bottom by 2, and I get 1/10. And so 1/10 is my answer. All right, let's do one more. So 8/13 minus 9/26. Okay, now for this, because I like to play cards, this fact makes a lot of sense to me because there are 52 cards in a deck. If I'm playing a game with 2 people, I know that there are 26 cards that each player would get. Or if I'm playing a game with 4 people, I know that I get 13 cards. So I know that 13 times 2 would be 26. So that's how I know my 13 facts. So 13 and 26. So I'm going to make 26 my common denominator. 13 times 2 would get me 26. 8 times 2 would get me 16. 26 times 1 would get me 26. 9 times 1 would get me 9. So now I can subtract. So again, my denominator is going to stay the same with 26. And then 16 minus 9 would be 7. So is that in lowest terms? Yeah, there's nothing that goes into both of these except 1. Because 7 is prime, and I know that 7 cannot go into 26. Okay, guys, that is our video lesson for the day. So you're going to click out of here, go back to Google Classroom, check out the board notes for today, and then complete your worksheet and your fast check, and submit those on Google Classroom. Remember, if you have any questions, you are welcome to check in during office hours. I'll be happy to help you out, and we can run through some other sample problems and help you through it. So thank you guys, and until next time, see you later.